Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sentai Super Show. The Super Sentai Super Show, the podcast where we never repeat an episode.
Never. We never give up.
We never give up. Even on episodes where we fuck up. We'll have to go back and redo them. I'm Fire Princess Lily.
No, but that didn't happen. That didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right, of course.
There's no second takes.
I'm Fire Princess Lily, and I'm joined, as always, by my friend Justice Ray. How you doing, Ray?
Hello. So is this our 20 to 30 minute diatribe on wrestling?
I mean, we gotta talk about something. We could just dive into the episode, but we
could, but there's an exploding barbed wire death match we're about to have in 2021.
Death match. Okay.
In 2021.
So, obviously, full disclosure, we tried recording this last week, and apparently we did the entire episode without recording my audio.
So it was just me.
So it was just Ray, just reacting to what I was saying for an hour. Not
compelling television.
I mean, I guess it's entertaining under a certain light.
It must be.
So, and the craziest thing that had happened in wrestling during that recording is that Kenta had a match in AEW, and that FinJuice, we didn't even know that FinJuice was coming to Impact. Did not know that was happening at the time.
It's pretty impressive, I must say. I mean, it's good to see Juice in the on the East Coast.
Yeah,
but just I miss his cheery demeanor and his can-do attitude. He's a different change. He's a different change to white meat babyface, and that I like the name of his finisher the most. Pulp Friction.
Yes, it's very good. And then there was news that Okada is going to show up at some point, which was what the fuck? Sure, Kenta, Juice Robinson, David Finlay, maybe not the biggest names in New Japan, but still, impressive that they're in a different promotion. But Okada?
But the Rainmaker?
The Rainmaker?
As soon as I hear that yen flip, I'll be livid. I'll flip the hell off. I'm gonna be oh, it's happening!
It's happening. I had actually worked myself because on Impact this week, Tony Khan said he had a huge surprise for Kenny Omega on Dynamite, so I thought for sure it was going to be Okada, and I was I worked myself.
What was the surprise? He didn't seem to have one.
The surprise was he was going to have.
The surprise was the contract, right?
Yeah, the rematch with Jon Moxley, and everybody's like, "Oh man, it's a big surprise with the barbed wire match." And I was like, "No. Kenny made that stipulation." He's like, "Okay, I see your rematch, and I raise you an exploding barbed wire death match. Let's just go all in."
While Dory Funk's in the building.
Oh my God. And as far as I can tell, this is the first exploding barbed wire death match that's going to be televised through a major promotion in America.
Mm-hmm. ECW tried to do it and could never really get it off the ground because, you tried telling that to TNN back when they had TV, and or even local networks, and I didn't think TNA had the balls to try. It's unfortunate because you would think Abyss would be all over it, being the unwanted child of Mick Foley and Kane. Which I always felt Mick Foley making fun of him for is just hilarious. It's just you're just a knockoff of me.
Just incredible. And I went back and I watched some of those Terry Funk exploding barbed wire matches just for like research
Yeah,
purposes.
FMW FMW matches.
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know
With
XPW tried to do it, but they're gonna even get like even if they had Onita like
yeah, with
on
Anita.
for like 3 shows or something like that, they still couldn't get it happening. So
Hmm.
the fact that like in 2021 we're actually going to see one is astounding. I mean, we didn't say like I hate to go back to WWE, but at least like we didn't see that we didn't foresee that we'd have like a Lions Den match, but they just called it the Fight Pit, and we had 2 of them in the last like 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So like I like the Lions Den match. It's a nice little concept. It's just like nope, this is about as blood fight we're gonna blood sport as we're gonna get without blood. You win by knockout or submission. There will be no pinfalls, etc., etc. All to highlight the strengths of Timothy Thatcher, who honestly deserves better than where he is in NXT.
Mm. But, oh my goodness. And do you think they'll actually replace the ropes with barbed wire, or do you think they're just going to wrap it? Do you think they're going to go all in on this, more or less?
I mean, if it's the main event, you don't need those ropes again. So
that's true. I can't think of. There's not a bigger match on the card.
Or alternatively, they could just put that ring somewhere else entirely and just have it not even a cinematic match.
Yeah,
would be more like safe than for a barbed wire death match. Like if it was cinematic, I could see the appeal and seeing the safety involved, and to protect the wrestlers because those are your 2 big money draws.
Yeah, but it's Jon Moxley.
He's also gonna be a father soon.
Yeah, but it's still Jon Moxley.
I mean, like I'm still hyped for this weekend. Jon Moxley being on Bloodsport.
Yeah, he's going to be on Bloodsport this weekend, and then later this month he's got to fight Kenta. Like
I feel so
be super.
I feel so bad for Renee.
Renee is just like, holy shit, poor Renee.
She's just sitting there with a baby bump, just being like, every single time he escalates the matches I gotta watch. He's getting all his matches in before he takes paternity leave. If he's gonna have to take paternity leave, he's gonna be laid out for it. He's just gonna be like, I am like strung together by hopes and dreams, and some of the barbed wire from that two matches ago. I'm ready. I'm ready for fatherhood.
Oh man, like maybe they'll just do it cinematic. Maybe they'll just wrap the already ropes around with barbed wire instead of replacing it. Maybe it'll be a quote unquote safe exploding barbed wire death match. I
quote
mean,
unquote.
During barbed wire matches anyway, or barbed wire in wrestling, like 60 to 70% of it is gigged anyway.
True. So, I'm just disappointed that the Santana Ortiz didn't win the tag titles. That would have been a more compelling. That would have been a more compelling tag match, honestly.
It would have, and that finisher to the surprise roll up.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. Not a fan, but I mean, it's still a quality match.
Oh yeah, it's still a good match, but yeah.
X-Lax and Young Bucks, they're always gonna do great.
Right.
Sorry, yeah, I call Proud and Powerful X-Lax until their faces, as an XLAX.
Right. So that was wrestling this week, basically.
Essentially. I am disappointed at Maki Ito not making it past the first round.
I can't believe Maki. Like, okay, on the one hand, I'm depressed about that, right? On the other hand, I don't have to listen to JR not sell her gimmick.
Fair, yeah. I mean, honestly, it's probably better commentated by literally anybody else. Like, that's something I would have, like, Excalibur do by himself. Or
with Veda Scott.
Where's Mike Tenay? I'd rather have Mike Tenay. Like, I understand he might just have retired from the wrestling business entirely. Like, I hope, because dude's been in it for a while. But like, at least everything they gave him to commentate for, even an Impact, like he sold with 100% intention and like backing. He never had like a side mouth for anything.
Right.
Like he had a passion for lucha libre and Joshi wrestling. He would have been better for it. But we need Jr. I guess
Look, when JR's doing
in
good,
2021.
when JR's doing good, he's doing great. Like, even I will give him that. But when he is, like, on his bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
ugh.
Basically, like if he phones it in, he phones it in. But like if he's invested, like if it's something that he can get behind, like some actual real wrestling, he's all about it.
Yeah. But that's the problem, is that JR will bury anything that he doesn't like.
Mm-hmm. Man, I'd rather have Mauro Ronaldo at this point. But I understand that his mental state isn't where he wants it to be.
Hmm.
So I can get like why you'd want to take some time off or just like get away from like the whole like wrestling promoter in your ear business.
Right.
But I don't even think Tony Khan actually like puts a headset on for
I
anything
mean,
unless the message is that Tony Khan's announcing that a match is going to happen next week.
I don't know about that. I think he does have a headset on, but he pretty much just lets them, he lets them go.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of his thing. Because he's like, you guys know what you're doing.
I pay you to know what you're doing.
Although it wouldn't surprise me if he does keep a headset on regularly, just because he has to like curb JR.
Or Taz.
Well, I mean, Taz isn't so bad. Like, he bullshits around on Dark, but when he's on commentating on like Dynamite for Team Taz or whatever, he's like on it. So
Nah, I grew up with him on SmackDown. I know how insufferable he can be in some cases. Like, when he phones it in, it's basically Joey numbers this, and
right.
Soup Bones that. I don't get Soup Bones.
Well,
I lived in Brooklyn. I've never heard that term.
All right, so let's get to the episode, because we've basically run down wrestling and we've complained about JR, who I just think maybe he needs to just be relegated to the back somewhere.
Like a producer.
Producer?
No, wait, no, not a match
relation?
producer or agent. Yeah, he's good at talent relations.
Yeah,
but they got CD for that.
It's true, they do have CD for that. I don't know.
And like honestly, if you needed anybody currently around to do talent relations, I'd rather have it CD than anybody else, because at least like Christopher Daniels has been around for like 30 years taking bumps. He understands that like as far as like looking for good talent, like or like keeping talent on board with their problems and everything, CD is the kind of guy to do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't think JR needs to be on commentating anymore.
Right. So yeah, on to Super Sentai.
Last week we watched episode 4 of Gaoranger, The Two Who Never Give Up. Which, it's an alright episode. It completely ignores the lessons from last episode of never, go off on your own. Always, bring a friend. Totally just absolutely ignores that. Fuck it. Do whatever.
Though the TV's lesson is Wild Force's lesson is bros before hoes. I'm kidding. That's just how it kind of came off to me, and I just hated it. I'm like, That said, like the difference between the plots is at least established in this, rather than being cookie cutter like most of the criticisms for Gokaiger to Wild Force are.
Right. So we open
But
in. Oh, sorry.
sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
We open in Makuni City, which is really just a temple.
Yep, kind of just a temple.
Kind of just a temple, or if it's a part of a bigger city, we never see the rest of the bigger city. So we're in Makuni City, out of the front of a temple, and the announcer says there are many haunted buildings. Are there any haunted buildings near you? It may be a supernatural occurrence. It's still unexplained by science. So we're explaining like, oh, temples are haunted. But Gal Blue and Gal Black are in front of this temple, and Gal Blue's like, I am sure there's a fucking org here. And Gal Black's
I read an article in National Observer.
I read an article. And Gal Black's like, maybe we should go get the rest of the team, remembering the lessons from last episode. And Gal Blue's like, shut up. Just boost me over this wall. We're going to take care of this by ourselves. We can do this. We're awesome.
Can do it.
And so he does. He gives him a boost. And right over the wall. And he doesn't help Gal Black up at all. He's like, all right, now you figure out how to get up here.
You are quite heavy. and I am only a teenager.
Yeah. It's here where we find out that Gal Black is kind of a scared of heights. But he does get off the wall via falling off it. So fair play.
Who needs fear when gravity occurs? Ah! Ooh. Okay.
So the two are walking around the temple now. And they hear basically birds. To which Gal Blue's like, that's got to be the org. Orgs make bird sounds.
They must.
They do see a light. And it's like the shrine guardian. Or just a monk. But Gal Blue is absolutely certain that is the org. He rushes to go, do a good tackle. When there's a sudden earthquake. Which leads Gal Black to push him out of the way of something falling, only for him to get hit in the head with that thing.
Think.
The top of a stone lantern, which we learned the name of last week, and I have spaced it.
I think it's a Teo lantern.
It's fine. It's whatever. The temple monk's like, hey, who the fuck's over there? Oh, just some fucking kids.
Oh, sorry, Toro. There we go.
Toro.
Toro.
Yeah, like just some fucking.
Which
kids.
is funny that the Bull Ranger got hit by a Toro.
Yes, absolutely.
That joke crosses language barriers. That is a high quality joke there.
Gal Black scoops up Gal Blue to run away, and the temple guardian, or I'm sorry, the temple monk. I don't know why I keep saying guardian, just because this is the guy who seems to be guarding the temple. He's like, God, I fucking hate kids. And what was with that earthquake? That's some bullshit. This temple sucks. I hate this. We cut over to Gal Rock, and everybody's making fun of Gal Blue. Well, Gal Black's not, but Galileu's like, you're such a kid. Mistaking a monk for an org and then passing out. Lame ass. Gal Black's like, but hey, there was an earthquake and some strange lights. And Gal Blue says, I'm not a kid. To which Gal Yellow replies, I'm not a kid.
Not a kid.
Very mocking. And everybody laughs. Well, not Black or Blue, but everybody else. Gal Red walks up and is like, well, I'm glad neither of you were hurt too badly. Kids shouldn't stay out late. Like, he's joining in on it.
You would know that if you read my manual.
You know that.
Which was established last episode. I printed them all out for everybody.
Yeah, we read them together.
That cost me $25 at Kinko's. I got them spiral bound, guys.
But Gal Blue's pissed. He's like, I'm not a kid. Gal Black is trying to bandage his head because as he pushed Gal Blue out of the way of the Toru falling, he hit his head on like a statue. Like, save from one head injury to just get hit with another.
Yeah, I mean, like, both of them got head injuries, and one of them is tending to the other. Like,
yes.
without a concussion test, you know? In any other case, that guy would have been taken off of the next pay-per-view.
Absolutely. Or sent home for a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So Gal Blue runs off because he's embarrassed. He's like, I don't need people like being fun of me. I need you to look over me, and runs off. And
What a strump.
yeah. Everybody turns to Gal Black and goes, hey, you saved him. What is he being so pissy about? And Black doesn't say anything to that. He just looks like, oh, he looks guilty. We cut over to the temple, and the temple monk like hears something, and he's like, what the fuck's going on? He's got a... What are those wooden swords called? A shinai, right?
Boken.
A boken. He's got a boken, runs up some stairs, and we immediately cut over to the other orgs. Shuten, Yabaiba, and Shui.
Sue.
Sue.
No, we're not continuing this joke from last week. From the lost episode.
This isn't a joke. I just don't know.
I know. Recurring laughs. I swear to God, I'll give you homework. I'll have you say it in the mirror until Toxica shows up behind you. Sue. Five times. Five times like Bugatti.
So the statue or whatever is like going crazy, and Shuten's like, man, there is something up about this energy. Even though Yabaiba and Sue are super excited about like a new org.
Woo! A new friend, guys. Yay, friends.
Shuten says, you know what? Let the org do its own thing. It's fine. We're going to go investigate the area. Let's go do that. And that sounds great, except for that's not what happens at all.
Not even remotely.
The temple monk runs up on the bell org. It's an org. It's the shape of a temple bell, and it's just like beating itself in the head because, you know, it likes bell sounds.
He knows from whom the bell tolls.
He does. The monk like screams and like, oh my god, this sucks. And when he's trapped by a temple bell summoned by the org, who then hits it. Later in this episode, this will almost kill Gal Blue, but the monk just is like it's.
But this monk tanks it.
The monk tanks it. He just like gets ear pains and he like runs away once he's released. He's like,
This is after that monk has taken like a 2-hour training getting his dick kicked. Like some Shaolin like I could watch that on repeat and wince the whole day. Just be like, oh, I'm just so thankful I'm not a Shaolin monk.
Right.
Just tense up, take that dick kick. Yeah.
But the temple.
Oh, speaking of Shaolin monks,
yeah.
Did you see the Mortal Kombat trailer?
No.
Oh, you should.
Oh, okay.
Frankly, the only thing I'm worried about is that dude Cole Young. Like, I don't want another Alice, you know? Like, shoving the characters in which I've grown with into the background for their plot? Nah, no thank you. Sorry, I just went through enough Resident Evil movies where I know if you put a character or some, like, you know, audience avatar, I'm not behind that. So, otherwise, I completely forgot that Sub-Zero was, like they make, in the trailer, like Sub-Zero is the dude who takes Jax's arms and crushes them. So I'm like, oh, I forgot. Sub-Zero, Bihan is a dick. Yeah, I have to remember that this Sub-Zero is a dick. Kuei Liang is the good one, if you know your Mortal Kombat lore. Sorry, end of tangent.
Okay.
So we were at the Temple Bell org.
Yeah. So the temple monk quits. He's like, I've had enough of this shit. This is bullshit. First kids, now a monster. I'm out. The bell org is just like, man, that was a great fucking sound. I could do this all goddamn day. I love this shit. That's when Yabaiba and Sue show up and they're like, "Hey, good job. How about we give you some help instead of like doing like Shuten said and just like letting the bell or do what the fuck ever it wanted while they investigate. They just
He was just gonna ring in the new year.
yeah. But Suisui says, you know, if the bell org works with them, they can give him the power to send that sound all over the world. He's like, what, for real? All right, so what should I do? And they're like, well, until Master Shuten finishes his work, don't let anyone near the temple. That's all you got to do. Boom, easy. He's like, that's it. That's like super fucking easy. I could do that. We cut over to Gaoranger, where what is this woman's name? Tetsumo?
Yeah, Tetsumo. That's
okay. Tetsumo was like, whoa, we got some readings. Tetomu, anyway.
Tetsumo. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, that sounds more right.
Yeah. She's like, we got some readings, but we cut right over to the surging shark, Gao Blue, feeling sorry for himself, or just like pissed off in general, staring at the water. And Gao Black walks up. He's like, man, are you still angry at me? He's like, yeah, of course I am. Gao Black's like, I'm sorry about last night. He's like, yeah, you should be. You pushed me, and I get blamed for everything. And everybody acts like I'm a child, but I'm not a kid. I'm not going to look after you anymore, by the way. I'm going to go do my own thing. You can go do whatever you want by yourself from now on. And Gao Black's like, hey, wait a minute, Blue, don't. But he doesn't get a chance to stop him because his cell phone goes off.
Mm-hmm. Got a case of the wimp lows.
Yeah.
Like you, I don't know why the master doubts me so much. I know I can take you with my fisted head style. Yeah.
Gao Blue's running off just as Gao Red tells Gao Black over the phone, hey, everybody needs to gather at Gaoranger. I don't know why he doesn't call Blue too. Like,
I believe that he just went on the assumption that like Blue was with Black because they usually hang out together.
Yeah.
I mean, by virtue, like it's the 2000s. You can't just have like a group call and just like call everybody.
No.
So I'm pretty sure like Blue was next on the list and it's just calling everybody, and it would just be the ease of like contact would just be like, all right. I know both of you two are together. I need you over here. Could you get I need you at Gaoranger. Can you come by? I'm like, okay.
Well, yeah.
Thank you for calling me, boss.
But when Gao Black shows up without Blue, you'd think they'd call Blue, but they don't.
Oh yeah, of course.
They just anyway.
I guess he didn't have any minutes.
Yeah, I guess not.
There's a significant lack of cell phone providers on Gaoranger.
Fair enough.
I mean, you got to find it from the same place where you, like in the same plaza where they got the Kinkos at. There's only so many stores you can get, you know.
We watch as Gao Black watches Gao Blue just run off instead of being like, hey, we're supposed to meet at Gaoranger. Come back. He doesn't say anything. So we cut into Gaoranger, and they're like, hey, the energy reading comes within 1 kilometer from the east. That's where that temple was. I guess Gao Blue was right, and we made fun of him for nothing.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. But Black runs in and he's like, hey, where's Blue? And he's like, I don't know. They're like, oh man, that brat. Did he go to the temple alone again? And he's like, maybe. And that's when they're like, well, you know, now there is actually an org there. And he's like, oh shit, what should we do? He's going all alone. And they run off to go save him. Black tries to call Blue, which nobody else tries. For whatever reason. Blue, we cut over.
I'm just going to keep using the cell phone excuse. There's no point for people calling. At some point, you're just going to get a busy signal. And, you know, just imagine how awkward that is in Gaoranger, of all places.
Right.
Where, like, that busy signal is so loud, it just causes, like, birds to fly out. And you just got to deal with that. Like, I got bird shit on my shoulder, and I can't get in contact with this guy.
But we cut over to Gao Blue, who's like, looks at his phone, sees that it's Black calling. He's like, I will not accept his apology. I don't fucking care. And he is walking up to the temple, and he runs into the bell org and some orgettes. He's like, oh man, I was right. There was an org here. The Bell Org says, "Hey, beat it, kid." And he's like, "Hey, I am not a kid. Do not underestimate the 19-year-old Kai Suzue. Or Semizu. Whatever. I don't quite care.
Samazua, because it's the Same in Japan, it means shark.
Right, Samazue. And he transforms into the surging shark, Gao Blue, and starts
By himself. And starts chicken kicking everybody around him.
Yes.
I mean, it would have been more impressive if he did like a spinning bird kick, I guess. Like, because they were all around him. He could have just done like a Tatsumaki.
Yeah.
Or something like that if you know your Street Fighter lore. But instead he does like chicken kicking in all like 8 directions he has available to him.
Well,
it just looks weird. It looks like I was suspended by ropes and decided to kick everything I saw. The power of budget.
Power of budget. Anyway, he says, "Hey, you see what I can do to the Bell Org? You shouldn't underestimate me." That's when Bell Org is like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Temple Bell, and he traps Blue in.
See, you shouldn't underestimate me. Proceeds to underestimate you.
This is where we see Gao Blue almost destroyed by the bell being smacked. There's lightning involved, and it forces him to untransform.
See, now they could have excused this with one of those classic, like narrator. This explains why this is happening thing, but they actually spared this one. So by its like exclusion, it gives you this idea that somehow this old ass monk is way stronger than Gao Blue. He should be the new Gao Blue Ranger. I look forward to an old ass Ranger just be complaining about like his back and his hip as he does spin kicks and like sword slashes. I'm all about that. But alas, all we got is this little kid, this little shit-stained kid who can't take a bell ringing. Come on, man. But the way they could have explained it is the narrator could have gone, the frequency inside the bell disturbs the morphing grid or something like that. Like, right, I'm just coming out of that right at the top of my dome. Because, like, that, I could see that happening. But they didn't explain that. And, like, but they'll explain, like, you know, like, when the winds, when the cries of the innocent fill the winds, etc., Rangers go and everything. The narrator gets their paycheck for the week.
Right.
Like, he could have gotten his paycheck and explained this entire scenario, and then like why this kid's in a bell now instead of like just mildly irritated at the fact that he was trapped in a bell in the first place. Like, and still have his power morph. It's still in morph.
Yeah. So, we cut back over to where Blue and Black were before, when they had their argument before Blue ran off. And all the Rangers are running towards where the temple is.
Yeah.
Black stops, and they're like, "What's up?" He's like, "Something's wrong. I hope it's not Blue." Like, instead of like going after Blue, where he could stand here and talk for a bit.
I must tap into the bro force to know that my anarchy is down.
But everybody stops. Everybody stops once again as they're like, "Hey, Black, like, I know you're older, but what's going on? Why are you like? You shouldn't like care for. You shouldn't be acting like the older brother or whatever to Blue." And Black's like, "Hey, that's not what's up. I just want to return the favor." And they're like, "What favor?"
The emergency is the perfect good time for a flashback.
Yeah, the emergency is the perfect good time.
Dooley-doo.
But Galblax, when I first joined, I was big, but I was like slow and afraid of heights, and I was holding everybody back. We get a scene of him like being like, "Oh, I can't jump across this building; it's too much." And Blue is like,
"It's
hey,
past my jump arc. I need a double jump."
I need a double jump. Blue's like, "Hey, what are you doing? The guy's getting away. Come on, you can do this." He's like, "Yeah, I can do this." Galblack goes to make the jump. He jumps, and he just falls short.
He hits circle, then X. Unfortunately, his jump arc wasn't articulated. He should have jumped at the edge of the edge of the cliff, and not like a few steps away from it, and misses the grab, which is unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. But Gal Blue catches him, and he's like, "Hey, don't give up. You know, life has no reset button. fight to the very end.
Just wall kick until you can get over. I'm sorry, Mega Man X jokes.
And the two of them scream "Never give up" at each other, back and forth, which is where the title for this episode gets its thing from. The two who never give up. Because those two will never give up. But Gal Black says, when he said "never give up," I forgot my fear of heights, and I was able to pull through. Blue taught me to not give up. Thanks.
Blue taught me a general concept that like is ingrained in being a ranger in the first place.
Yeah.
And would be unfortunate and untoward if I had this situation occur to me, like, which what will happen in Operation Overdrive, a few like 7 seasons after this, where they lose their powers and and once a ranger and they're like, I guess I'll go home and do what I was gonna do. Like, no, continue your search. You have civilian powers. How fucking dare you? Like, that's the moral of the story. Never give up in that episode. But like they felt like they were being second fiddle to Adam Park and Kira. So they're like, I guess I'll just like go home to be a race car driver again. That's why I hate both Operation Overdrive and Once a Ranger for just the shitty storyline there. So in case you guys are curious, I do not look forward to that crossover. I do not look forward to that crossover episode in any aspects of watching any season of Power Rangers, which I am thankful that some of the crossover episodes either do not occur or in some way, shape, or form are better than what we have. I know we got a crossover episode for this season, but it's not Forever Red, so allow me to just dissuade that notion. Forever Red is not happening. It is all original Power Ranger footage with Beetleborg mechs. Because we have those suits in the warehouse somewhere. We're going to get some mileage out of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you gotta. This is the perfect time for all the Rangers to stop in their slow walk towards the temple. For
the Scooby-Doo walk.
The Scooby-Doo walk. For Gal Black to like be like to explain that he wants to support Gal Blue in any possible way that he can. They're like, "Oh, Black, that's so nice." So let's.
It's really sweet. Can we like show some urgency? Our friend is in danger.
Yeah, they're like, "What?"
If we stopped for your flashback, we need to actually start getting them put some pep in the step.
Yeah, they start running now. They're like, "Let's hurry."
Knees to chest. You get the running.
They then run up on the temple and they see that Gal Blue's morpher is just lying on the ground. They're like, "Oh no, Blue, he is in trouble." Like, come on, let's go to the temple. It's up ahead. The Bell Org is
pocket must be torn.
Yeah, the Bell Org is just watching from like a distance instead of like trying to stop them right here. Not following at all the directions he was given.
I guess he's just not like, crap, I can't come up with a gag. Go, skip it. Skip the gag. You can't do it.
We cut back to the temple where Shuten and Yabaiba and Sue are looking around the temple because Shooting just like, there is an energy source here that is like fucking freaky and I gotta find it. The Bell Org runs up and is like, "Hey, the Rangers are here. What should I do?" And she was like, "Go and crush them all. We got work here to do." Which sounds
like,
great.
Why are you here? Kick their ass. Like, we hired you to kick their ass.
We hired you to go kick their ass. But at least that's what Shooten says to go do. That is not what Shooten actually does. He and the other orgs all show up at the entrance to the temple like, "Hey, we're here to kick your ass." Like, come on. You said to let the Bell Org do his thing.
You said one thing and did another thing.
You said one
That's
thing.
just bad organization. Apparently, orgs don't stand for organization.
They do not. They're like, "Hey, where's Gal Blue?" And they're like, "Oh, you can have a reunion with him in hell." And then
I practiced that for 2 hours while I was staring at you wander around the forest.
Yes. He attacks them, but it leads the Rangers transforming and kicking the shit out of a bunch of Orgats. Which they're all full of water.
Because these stunt actors need paychecks.
They do.
You go down, check in the mail. Thank you. Have a great evening. Hoo-ha!
But everybody sort of pairs off with like a different org to a different ranger. Like Sue and Gal White pair off, and so it's like, hey, little girl, you're too young to fight me. And she's like, oh, yeah, well, you're too old to fight me. And she's like, I am not old. I'm going to beat your ass now.
So, in the Wild Force episode, she goes, don't you mean an older sister type?
Yeah.
As if to try and establish that this is not like a young girl talking about Christmas cake to what she presumes to be a 34-year-old woman who is clearly past her expiration date. Which is what that term goes for, the Christmas cake trope.
Right. Yabaiba and Gal Yellow pair off because they both have swords.
Yep.
And they like seem to hate each other like specifically, which is weird.
That came from last episode and will continue till like the end, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how I remember in Wild Force they always pair off.
But Yabaiba and Gal Yellow apparently are mortal enemies. We're not making promises to kill each other today.
You stepped on my shoes. This is a mortal beef we have.
Yeah.
We sell this out in the streets.
We see Gal Red taking out some Orgettes. That's when Shuten shows up with his axe. And Gal Red's like, what are you really after? He's like, hey, the more you humans suffer, the more fun it is for us. So we're just after a good time.
Yeah, we're just vibing, guys.
We're vibing. He pulls out his fist thing and goes to attack. We cut over to Gal Black, who is headbutting the temple bell, or being forced to headbutt the temple bell, I should say. And
stop hitting yourself.
Losing. He's like, what'd you do?
Just not getting ahead.
Yeah.
There, I got to the gag, guys. I got it. Haha.
He's like,
I'm witty.
Yes, very. He's like, what did you do with Gal Blue? He's like, oh, you mean that timid little crybaby? He's right up there. And he points to a cliff. And there's a temple bell up there. And Blue's in it. He's like, hey, you better save him because otherwise he's going to run out of oxygen and die soon. It's like, oh no. But
I didn't put any holes in that bell, even though the camera does show that there's at least 2 holes in the top.
There's 2 holes in the top. That bugs me. But
like, you get, like, how hard it is to just find a bell? Like, they probably just got it from, like they just took the handle off for the bell that would hang down, so that way they have a prop for this kind of thing.
Right.
And, like, that's why we have holes. Even though, like, you can just chalk that up for the benefit of everybody watching.
But Gal Black calls out to Blue, and Blue's like, "Oh man, that voice! It's Black." Gal Black attempts to, or proceeds to, like, throw the bell org away, and then tries to climb up the cliff. He's like, "I'm coming for you, Blue. I want to save you." And
I'm gonna. You're my boy, Blue.
You're my boy. The bell org attacks with his temple arrow, which is like a cool sound wave attack that I actually kind of like, and tries to knock Gal Black off this cliff.
It's definitely different than, like, every other strike that we've seen so far.
Gal Black starts screaming that he's never going to give up. Never going to give up. And Gal Blue's like, yeah, that's how it always was. I wasn't supporting Black. He was supporting
me.
Like, it's very touching. But he's like, we see Gal Black getting attacked over and over again. But he just keeps climbing up the cliff.
Just keeps trying to wall kick all the way up.
Yep.
You just can't do it.
The other Gaoranger's like, hey, that Gal Black's a trouble, let's go. But Gal Black doesn't need help. He's going right up to that bell as Black and Blue scream towards each other. Black, Blue, Black, Blue. And then Gal Black...
They're running to... just imagine them just running back to each other, like, down a hill.
Yeah.
With their reunion.
This gives Gal Black the power to, like, just leap over the cliff and split the bell in half.
You got the high jump.
You got the high jump. He's like,
Down, up, jump. Yeah.
yeah. He's like, Blue, are you okay? And Blue's like, don't scream in my ear. You're going to burst my eardrum. But yeah, I'm cool.
I cannot hear you.
He's like, yeah, I hear you. The Bellorg is about to attack them. That's when Gal Red pulls out his blaster and just blasts the shit out of him. And everyone's like, hey.
I hope you boys and girls got this toy that we sold last week.
We sold last week. Gal was like, hey, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm not a kid. And they're like, well, then here's your morpher. And he takes his morpher. He's like, all right. We get another morphing scene for Gal Blue. But like a real one this time.
Yeah, with everybody now. Instead of just cutting to it.
Yeah. Like the full transformation sequence. And everybody introduces themselves, as they are. The Surging Shark, Gal Blue. The
Iron Bison, Gal Black. Noble Eagle, Gal
Yellow. The Bell
Tiger.
Gal
and the Blazing Lion.
The Blazing Lion, Gal.
And that completes the trivia session of this episode. So they get their shit in. They eat up their 1 minute and 30 seconds of screen time to do their calls, and then it's onward to fighting the Bellorg 5-on-1.
This is where Gal Blue says the line that I suppose is said in every episode: "Where there's life, there's a roar of justice."
Everybody says the line.
Everybody says the line.
If it's your episode, you say it.
It's like, we're the Gaorangers, time to go. That's when this weird rock starts glowing again, which gets
the rock is amped by all their phrases. They're like, oh, someone's doing catchphrases? I'm there. Let's go, guys. Yeah.
But this energy gets all the way back to Gal Rock, and Tetamu is like, whoa, that energy. Guys, you've got to take care of this. You got to make sure that you get whatever energy that is. Do not let the orgs have it. The Rangers are
I'm vibing with this rock, you guys. You got to bring it home, okay? I think it's going to tie up that little back corner and our headquarters really well.
Shuten and the other orgs do find the rock and a scroll as the Rangers are dealing with the Bellorg. This is where Black and Blue do a fastball special for the Bellorg.
Mm-hmm. Just some quality Colossus Wolverine teamwork.
Yep, he flies through explosions and splits the bell hammer in half.
In twain.
Makes it completely unusable. That's when
you can make two canoes.
Yeah, you could. Gal Blue gymnastic flips back to Black, who then starts spinning him and damages the org, giving them time to build the evil crushing beast sword.
Yakujukin.
The Yakujukin. They do their big, sword attack. And feet the org.
The no help, the no help lift. The guys, come on, just somebody reach out and lift this up for me. All right, got it. Yeah.
And the org's destroyed. Yay. He's a pile of goo.
He's a pile of goo.
The one horn org show up and they're like, "Hey, do something about this." And Sui's like, "Yep, I got it. Here's some org seeds. How about you get big for us and do some shit?" And he does. We get a giant Bellorg, complete with hammer, and he's ready to just go crazy. The Rangers immediately summon...
He's got a whole new hammer now.
He's got a whole new hammer. They immediately summon the spirit animals who descend on the path of light. And right away, instead of attacking one at a time as their animal forms, they immediately form the Beast King.
Nope, the power of the budget. We can't film any random Zord contact with that suit. Nope, we ain't got enough time for that budget.
We're just transforming into the Beast King. Let's just get to it today instead of pretending like the animals can take this thing down. They need the Beast King. They transform. It takes a little bit because it's got to be dramatic.
As you do. He's got to be buttered up to erect into the full Megazord. You gotta tease it.
The Gao King serves up a right and a left to no effect.
A nice 2-piece. Nope, no effect.
No effect. It just makes the bell org ring. It's like, oh man, I love this sound. Like, oh shit, he's not affected. What are we gonna do? He's like, hey, it's my turn now. He hits him with the temple arrow and makes him fall down. It's pretty good. He's like, I want to beat you now because your body's gonna make just a great sound, I think. And they're like, holy shit, he's going to kill us. Galblu's like, hey, wait a minute, I got a plan. Leave it to me. Hey, Black, let's do some shit. And that's when they kick the bell org right in the groin.
They take the poor bell org to Dick Kick City.
Kick City.
I'm sorry, what was the name of this town? Nope, renamed to Dick Kick City.
They summon the sword and cut the hammer in half again. He's like, oh, that fucking sucks. Here, I want to summon
I just got a new one.
I just got a new one. He summons a temple bell to trap them, but they bicycle kick it away.
The Pele kick.
The Pele. And it lands right on top of him. He's like, wait a minute. This is my shtick.
This is what they had to use the budget for. And bicycle kicks and dick kicks. That's the budget.
That's the budget.
You wanted some Zords? Fuck that.
They hit
dick
him
kicks.
With the vibe check. And he dies. And Shuten's like, you know what? That's okay. It's all right. Because I got the scroll and the rock, so I win. I did great. That's when the rock goes fucking nuts.
It flips the fuck out. The Rangers dive out of their cockpits, even though one of their Rangers confessed to having a fear of heights.
Yes.
I guess this fall just doesn't mean anything as long as everybody else is doing it. And then they land with a 3-point landing like superheroes do, and they're like, no, you're not taking that with you.
It's okay, because Shuten can't take it with him because it flipped the fuck out and started shooting lightning everywhere. And he dropped it.
And the Rangers, I ain't fucking with that.
And the Rangers pick it up. And he's like, oh.
He's like, I'm not touching that with like a 10-foot panda pole.
Shuten's like, I'm gonna get you for this one, Gaorangers. And then they all run away.
He shakes his fist, if he has a fist. I don't know, the suit doesn't really signify he can make a fist. So he just angrily shakes his fist and teleports out.
Yep.
Onward to another week. I'll get you next time, Gadget.
The announcer's like, what secrets are held inside this mysterious rock and the secret scroll that can emit such power? Find out next week.
Tune in next time.
Yeah, the secret will be revealed in the next episode, and that's how the episode ends.
And then we get our the Milk Duds ending.
Yes.
And if you watch for the preview, they tell you exactly what's in there. So that's why I'm going to stop watching the preview, even though I've already watched Wild Force. So I already know how this kind of goes. I'm just looking forward to the sharp story departure that happens around, I guess, when the 6th Ranger's introduced. But yeah, as far as like the differences between Wild Force and Gaoranger, this is actually one of the episodes that diverges greatly from the script, in that it allows Danny to establish that he had a girlfriend, or at least a girl he liked from the flower shop he was at before he became a ranger, which was, as confirmed in like 2 episodes ago, was only a few months ago. So it's still kind of like his disappearance is still kind of fresh in her mind. So the times where Danny and Max were supposed to go and go to the temple, Max went alone because Danny was distracted by Kendall. So that's what I meant in regards to the Hose comment, in that, like, dude, what are you doing talking to Kendall? We got to work. We're Rangers. And Danny was like, no, she deserves an explanation. I just disappeared without a trace. I got to talk to her about it in a few days. And that Max is like, no, we got to check that org in the temple. I swear, I know something's up with that. And Max's complaints are underscored by him being a kid. And that's why he still kind of complains about being a kid, but he also doesn't really name himself, because like everybody knows his name except for the bad guys. So like he doesn't have to do the whole, I'm Max X so and so. I'm the Blue Ranger. I'm not a kid. Yeah. And but it's more like, I can do this by myself. I'm strong, and um, he doesn't give up, which is probably like it fits with the moral of the episode, but doesn't fit with the whole established teamwork rules that we had
Right.
the episode prior. Especially when like Cole is the voice of reason, being like, like I don't even think Cole says like the whole "you're a kid" thing. It's just more like because he has no place to say that because he's the most recent Ranger. So
Right.
like he would just be like he would discuss it like as bare as he can, but it would still cause Max to go off with a huff. And because a black like got like Danny got a call from Kendall about that, so that's why he wasn't able to help Blue the second time,
Mm-hmm.
and they were the distraction cost viable time where they could have probably gotten the stone before the Master Org, because Shuten's not around yet. It's still just the Master Org, your Viva, and sorry, Jindrax and Toxica, and they have to find they have to find Max, who's stuck in the bell. So at least they found a bell-like place for him to sit. So that way, like, it was an original scene. It wasn't just pasting him on, but they do paste Danny on Gal Black's face for the flashback, which is still shown in its original footage, and to the point where they have an error when Max checks his phone, he sees that it's Gal Black calling him, even though like it should be on his phone as Danny.
Right.
Like, what the hell is Gal Black? Click. Like, that would have been funny if he's like, what the hell is Gal Black? Click, for a meta narrative, but I guess that's it. So that's my spiel on the differences between Wild Force and Gaoranger for this episode. Any closing thoughts?
Not really. It was. I mean, it was an episode, and we went through it twice.
Yep.
This
I'm
time,
just glad to get this over, so that way we can get to episode 5.
yeah, this time
So
I
I
was
can
recorded, so.
so I can repeat my favorite catchphrase in stores now, because man, we got some toys to sell next week. Oh boy!
So yeah, no closing thoughts from me other than it's not a bad episode. It's just it's a
It's an
Sentai.
episode.
It's an episode. It's Sentai. What do you want from it?
It's serviceable. It's serviceable.
Yeah.
It covers the week's episodes.
So hey Ray, where can people find you online if they like want to talk to you about stuff?
If you want to talk to me on Twitter, you can follow me at just1CEREI, or Justice Ray with the first I replaced for the number. I'm pretty approachable. Feel free to tag me or anything of the sort. I can talk about most anything. I'm currently musing over like how like WandaVision's tomorrow, and I just can't wait for that episode to drop.
Oh man, I really need to know what's going on with Pietro. It's driving me nuts.
Okay, so I finally caught up. So, who do you think the aerospace engineer is?
Well, a lot of people are thinking that it might be Mr. Fantastic himself. I don't know.
I'm thinking Riri.
Thinking Reed Richards.
No, Riri Williams.
Oh,
Ironheart.
That'd be great. I would love that. I would love that because I love Riri Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that also because it would make certain people so angry, and I would just enjoy.
Oh, just bask in their hatred.
Oh,
like
so
like
good.
like I'm basking in the hatred of Smash players who are so sad there's another swords character in Smash, but it's Pyrrha and Mithra, and I'm just like, yes, love it. I have a transformation character in this game after 3DS made it impossible to do. Like,
I mean, I don't know what people are complaining about. At least they didn't introduce another Fire Emblem character. Come on.
oh yeah, at least it's not a Fire Emblem character. Like Xenoblade needs more representation. Like I would have gone with Elma, like honestly from X, but Pyrrha and Mithra is just such a great pick. And and I'm still waiting for Ryu Hayabusa. I know it might come not this character pack, but the next one, where like they announced that Ninja Gaiden Master Collection is coming out June 20th. So I'm like waiting for the Smash Direct for the summer character and it being Ryu Hayabusa. I want that so bad.
That would be neat.
Like I want his jump arcs to be the same as it is in Ninja Gaiden NES. I want him to just be I just don't want him to have the Ninja Gaiden like weapons. I want him to have like the goofy power ups from the NES games. So give me like the upward fireball and the fire ring, like the ring of fireballs. Give me that. Or and like his uppy is just like almost like a screw attack, but it's with the swords. I'm looking forward to that. And I want him to climb walls, even though like climbing walls is a dumb subject. Like,
right.
Sorry, that's my spiel.
You're fine. You can find me as always on Twitter at datfireprincess, spelled D-A-T. You can find me on the numerous podcasts that I do. I do several of them because I don't know the meaning of the word pacing, or the words pacing yourself. I don't
quit it. You never know the meaning of the word quit.
Nope.
You never give up.
So yeah, and such great shows like Let's Pull the Trigger on a Podcast, the podcast where I'm going over everything Studio Trigger has ever done with my friend Dr. Sea Monster. We just finished Kill la Kill and are moving on to When Supernatural Battles Became Commonplace.
Have you started that yet?
No, not yet. And we might not start it this week because he lives in Houston and, well, ice storms and whatever.
I live in Dallas. Like,
yeah, but you live next to, like, you know, near a hospital, so he does not.
Oh, yeah, right. So I live in Plano near a hospital grid. Yeah, so I was, like, pretty damn lucky. But all of my friends in every other state have been like, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, dude, I lucked out. Like,
yeah, you lucked out.
Save your concern for those who actually need it.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate it, though.
He's surviving. Fingers crossed. And yeah, so that's it. Until next time, remember that where there's life. I was gonna do like the front half and let you finish with that.
Oh, you gonna do the front half? Oh, yeah. Sorry. No. All right, so we just have our call sign now. we finally established it.
Yeah.
But you didn't give me the directive that would go half and half.
That's my bad. I thought maybe I did that last week.
All right, so wait, what's the call sign again? Sorry.
So, I want to do the front half. You're gonna take the back half.
All right, what is it again?
It's where there's life.
Line.
Where there's life, there's a roar of justice. So.
Okay.
There we go. So remember, until next time, when there's life,
there's a roar of justice.
Yeah. See you next time, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.